Burnout is the result of chronic stress. This show is about helping career individuals to actually feel empowered and to have tools that they can use in their daily lives, because I truly adore, respect, and want to help those that have dreams and that want to build and create in their lives. And I want to show them that they can do this without breaking their bodies or relationships in the process.
Hey there, welcome back to the Well-Balanced Mind. My name's Shannon Rollins. I am your host and clinical hypnotherapist located here in Orlando. And I am so excited about today's topic because this entire month of February was based around our emotions and really taking a deep look at the negative emotions we feel day to day. And these emotions can pop up any time in our life, when we're in the car or when we feel triggered by something. And usually the problem is not the real problem. So we went through this month and we've really talked about how to look at these emotions and even what happens when they're built up in a negative way, when you have so much negativity going on inside of you, and how it manifests physically and mentally in your life, within your relationships, or sickness, illness, and really looking at every single side of things. So today, to close out this chapter and this theme of looking at our emotions, I really wanted to focus on an actionable approach on how to create more change within your life and reset your emotions, how to have a reset routine or regimen and live a more positive lifestyle, how to create more of that positivity. It's really interesting. I had someone who I spoke to recently, and they were saying, you know what, I have been so down. I've had such depressed feelings. I felt so much sadness lately with everything that's going on. And they asked someone for advice, a friend for advice, and that friend just said, just think positively. Positivity, thinking positively changes everything in life. And I gotta tell you, it doesn't stop there. You can't just think your way into happiness. You can't just think your way into a happier, healthier life. It goes much deeper than that on a subconscious level. And the work starts here. The work starts when you start looking at these things in your life. And I usually ask people this, especially when I'm doing a speech, what constant emotional state are you feeling the majority of the time? What constant emotional state are you feeling throughout the day? Is it a positive state? Is it a negative state? And be honest with yourself. And the most common response that I get to this question is, Shannon, I feel frustrated. I feel frustrated. And you know what? There's no surprise to this based on how we're go, go, go all the time and we're running from one place to the next place. And the main spot that we get fulfillment is achievement. When the main place that we get fulfillment is achievement, then we really fall into this trap of climbing the ladder. It could be the corporate ladder, it could be the business ladder, and I am no stranger to this myself. I remember it was probably 8 years ago when I was on that train. I was on that ride. I wasn't looking back, and I wanted to climb the corporate ladder. And with every promotion, I felt so good about myself. I felt so good inside, but then it would die out. And I would think to myself, okay, where's the next best thing? Then I would climb it again, and I would meet my goal. And then I would be super excited, where this really developed into even my hobbies. I would jump from one way of fitness to another. I'd do a marathon and I'd feel super good when I was done. Oh, I can't believe I achieved my goal. And then would fall off again. A couple minutes later, even minutes later, I would say, man, okay, now I'm bored. What's next? And really, when we're looking at happiness and resetting who we are in our emotions, we have to start looking from the inside out, not the outside world in. And so today I really want to talk about 5 great steps for you to start looking at this in your life. And not only that, learning to let go. So stick around till the end because I'm going to have a great letting go meditation for you, which has really made a significant impact on my life and being able to clear out the negativity. And the reason why this sparked the topic for me, why I really wanted to dive into this topic, was because I've recently had an influx of clients come into me who have said, I cannot handle the negativity around me anymore. I just can't do it anymore. I can't stand watching the news. I can't stand the person on Facebook. I can't stand any of these things happening for me. And I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm being dragged down. I actually had someone tell me, I feel like I'm being drugged down by negativity in a hole, and I don't know how to get out of it. And when we look at these things and what we're surrounding ourselves with, energy is real, and you can actually pick up negative energy from other people. And that's where empaths come into play. You know, with empathy, that's one thing, but when you're an empath and you're someone who might identify as an empath, you absorb other people's emotions, you absorb other people's energy. And really, it's about creating personal boundaries around yourself and your energy field and the positivity that you know you bring to the world. And it's really interesting. I actually saw a video on this. I think it was on YouTube, Facebook, or whatever, so a video from somewhere. And it was such a great depiction of this. It was a guy and it was a drawing. And he would walk around throughout his workday and he was helping people. And each time he was helping someone, it would show, he was a pencil image, it would show that he would start to fill up with black ink a little at a time. Then he'd go on to help someone else. Then he'd fill up with black ink a little at a time until he was completely filled in with black ink. And by the time he gets home, he's exhausted. He can't take it anymore. Then he's irritable. It showed him being irritable to his wife and his kids. And by the time he sat down on the couch to watch TV, he was drained. And then guess what? What he turned on TV was a negative show. It was like a true crime show. Now, listen, I am no stranger to true crime shows or things that are negative on TV. I totally get it. You know, it's something that you want to watch from time to time. But also being cognizant of how you're surrounding yourself with negative energy is really, really important. And how you are starting your day, how you're starting your mental health routine is even more important. So if you are an empath, if you are someone who you feel like you really pick up on other people's negative energy, and when you're encountering someone and then you start feeling bad, or even if you're an introvert. If you're an introvert, introverts usually thrive when they're alone. And so guess what? If you have a job where you're with people all day long and you're talking to tons of people, you're going to be exhausted by the end of the day. And that's where these types of things come into play, where these techniques that I'm about to share with you are really incredibly important, because mental health needs to be treated like every other form of preventative health. Mental health needs to be treated like exercise. Mental health needs to be treated like nutrition. Like anything else that you going to get your blood work done, anything else that you want to do for your physical body, you also have to do with your mental body. And so it's basically looking at this as exercise for your mind. So basically I help people exercise their mind, right? Help you clear those negative emotions, get into the subconscious. But if you're not looking at these things from time to time, it doesn't have to be every day, but going through a technique like we go through today is going to be really important. And so I want to share with you right now my 5 techniques and tips for clearing out and resetting your emotional balance, for clearing out the negative and focusing on the positivity within your life. And the first one is self-awareness. Self-awareness is so important because it's really interesting. If you look at every single form of behavior change, it starts with self-awareness. Nothing can change unless you know where you were, right? So we have to assess where we are now. It's just like if you want to lose weight. You want to lose 20 pounds, but how do you know that you got to your goal unless you weighed yourself at the beginning? You want to start eating this amount of calories every day, or you want to start tracking this amount of macros, but how do you really know how to track that if you don't know what you're eating at the beginning? And so being able to look at the way yourself is, the way you live your day to day, and that's really that question, your constant emotional state. Are you always feeling frustrated? And if you are, it's time to clear that out. So that's the number one, is having that self-awareness. And I really recommend that you do this on a weekly or bi-weekly basis. And just ask yourself, what's my emotional state this week? What's going on with me if it's something that's negative? And let's not start this new age guilt thing. It's okay. We fall off sometimes. We don't have good days. We have events that happen in our lives that create these negative emotions. So if you're in a season in your life that's a winter, because Jim Rohn says the winters always come, where none of us are exempt to bad times, none of us are exempt to loss or to negativity. You know, that's the human experience, but learning to accept it in self-awareness is key to any behavior change, being aware of where you are now. And then that brings us to my number 2 technique, which is to assess your priorities. Assess the things in your life that are extremely, extremely important. And really from there, what area are you spending in each time? What percentage of time are you spending in the most important areas of your life? And if you say family's my number 1 and you're not spending that much time with family, how can you integrate that within your current life model? How can you integrate that within your work? If you say career is number 1 and you're really happy with that, then good for you, but are you putting your priority there? And really taking a look at your top 3 priorities and writing them down. So if you have a pen and paper with you right now, I recommend that you write down your top 3 priorities. And then, like I said, number 3, assess where you are today with your top 3 priorities and being more creative. You know, it's really interesting because if we're so focused on one thing, then everything else falls to the wayside. So this self-awareness and this activity has to happen constantly for us to not forget about other important things in our life. Everything can't be about the job, and then everything can't be about the kids because, right, if everything's about the kids, then you're not making money. You're not at your job at all. But if everything's about the job, then you're neglecting the family. So how do you find that balance in between? Which work-life balance does not exist, by the way. Sometimes there's periods of imbalances to get to periods of balance. So that leads to that number 3 tip, which is to take a look and assess your top 3 priorities and, what's going on there? What do I need to change in my life now for these top 3 priorities? You don't need a therapist to do this. You don't need anyone to help you with this because you know yourself more than anyone else knows you on this planet. You know what you need to thrive. You know what the things around you that you care about need to thrive. Which leads me to my 4th tip, which is to clear out the negativity. So if you're listening to this, by the end of the day, go on your Facebook page, find all the negativity, clear it out. There's no need for it. You know, if you're finished with an activity and you feel worse than when you started, it's not for you. And here's the one clue here. Follow your energy. What lights you up? When you're doing something, what makes you feel good? I've already said this before and I'll say it multiple times. I'm just in the business of helping people feel good. That's all I do. And so you follow the energy, you follow that positivity. What makes you feel good? Because once we grow up, we tend to forget about these little things that our inner child loves, these little things that light us up. I'm going to give you an example. So we went to SeaWorld 2 weeks ago and did a beluga whale experience. And that was so nostalgic for me to be able to pet a beluga whale because I remember being a child and going and looking at the beluga whales and thinking to myself, I wish I could pet a beluga whale. And guess what? It came to life this much time later. I mean, like 25 years later, it came to life. This dream, I was like, oh, I wish I could pet a beluga whale. And we think that that stuff is only for children. It's not. If you love drawing, if you love art, if you love something creative, if you love listening to music, making music, walking in nature, what lights you up? What is your energy pulled towards? It doesn't mean it has to be your career, but it could be your career. It really could. But if that's not the path for you, maybe it could be a hobby. Could you take surfing lessons at 50 years old? Absolutely. Could you learn something at 70 years old? Absolutely. It's never too late to follow your energy and then clearing out that negative stuff. So clearing this out, following to understand how to clear out the negative is you have to follow the positive and then know that all the negative will fall to the wayside. And I'm going to share with you that this is sometimes a painful process. I know this is not something you want to hear, but sometimes it means clearing out relationships. And I know you've heard this saying before that friendships are sometimes here for a season, a reason, or a lifetime. And in the human experience, we come across so many different souls, so many different people that we encounter that teach us lessons, that teach us opportunities, or that are just our soulmates in a sense, right? We meet those people who are like, I really click with them. I'm going to stick with them forever, right? So yeah, that happens sometimes with friendships, with people, with family, certain family members, with loved ones, with romantic relationships. And so knowing that you have that, but if there is someone that is constantly bringing you down, I'm not telling you you have to cut someone out of your life. We're not going to cut Aunt Susie, who complains all the time and is super negative, out of our life, right? But you want to keep them in your life, but you want to keep them at an arm's length. You want to keep these people at an arm's length. And here's the question to really assess how you know when to keep people at an arm's length and really just clear out some of the negativity in your life. Is it or are they adding value to your life? Currently? Is it or are they adding value to your life currently? And if the answer is no, and as I'm talking about this, you might start getting thoughts in the back of your head pop up, and you might start thinking about some things, some reassessments. What do you need to reassess in your life right now that will help you move forward in a more positive light? Because remember, this isn't anything that's selfish. The better you feel as a person, the better you feel in your human experience, the better you're going to be able to fill the cup of other people. The better you will be able to make a difference in a way that you would have never been able to make before. And then all the lessons that you learn along the way in these hard times are so important too. So that's the fourth tip, clearing out all the negativity, and that's probably the hardest one. Because if you want to clear it out, then you'll be able to make space for the things that really matter, that number 2 on the list, priorities. And then this leads me to my fifth technique and tip, which is having a mental health routine. If you have a mental health routine, it's going to make such a difference in your life. And that could be anywhere from morning meditation, journaling, evening meditation, walking outside, doing a walking nature stuff, the creativity I told you about, are you going to take up painting? That is a great mental health thing. The coloring books that they have for adults, that's a great mental health resource. Putting together a puzzle. These are all things that could be included in your mental health routine. And actually, I'm going to pause there because I'm talking about your most effective mental health routine for next week's episode. So get ready for that because I'm going to have some great ways that you could really engage your mind every single day and stay in a mental health regimen. Just like you're exercising or you're eating healthy, we want to look mentally now as preventative care. So those are my 5 tips to creating more positivity, really resetting your emotions in your life. And this really leads me to this next chapter, which is meditation and letting go. Because, right, we have to, with clearing out that negativity, that's step number 4. When you clear it out, you have to actually, it has to go somewhere. You have to mentally know when to let go. And it's funny, I brought you won't be able to see it here, but I brought a necklace, nothing fancy, right? I was at a conference, a Tony Robbins conference, and this person was handing out necklaces, and I remember they're mantra necklaces, and I remember I pulled out the necklace. He said, whatever one you get, that's what you need in life. And I pulled out let go. And in all my ego glory, I told him, I don't need to let go of anything. Can I pick something else? I actually tried to give it back to him and pick a new one. I wanted to have control, right? It's funny that the person who got the let go wanted to control the one that they pulled out. And so I asked him, can I pick another one? Nope, you cannot pick another one. You are stuck with the let go necklace. He goes, and it's probably for a reason. And at that point in my life, it was probably like 3 years ago, I was still going through a lot of discovery of understanding who I was. And I was like, I don't need to let go of anything. And so this was hanging in my car when I was like, whatever, I'll just hang it there just in case. It's hanging in my rearview mirror, and I'm driving up the road, and I'm going through my mind all the things that I need to do, all of the goals that I have. I'm literally going through a list in my mind of everything I need to accomplish, everything. Too much pressure, right? Too much pressure. So as I'm driving down the road, this thing is hanging up, and I glance over, and it actually, whenever the sun hits it, it's shiny. It actually started getting in my eye, and I'm like, oh, it's getting in my eye. And I glance over, and it said, let go. And in that moment, I knew that's why I needed this necklace, was to remind me to let go. And I needed it so bad that it blinded me. It forced me into it. It forced me into the view. And so I'm grateful for it now. I actually hang it over my bed now just to remind me, hey, Shannon, this is your daily reminder to let go of the things that you cannot control. Guess what? We cannot control our children. We cannot control our boss. We can't control anything in our jobs. We can't control other people. We can't control the weather. Nothing. I know, it sounds pretty harsh. The only thing that we can control is how we respond to everything. Our internal emotion, our internal response to everything is the most important thing. So I want to lead you through a let go meditation. It's a very short meditation, and I'd like for you to sit back, relax, find a comfortable seat, sit up nice and tall. And we're going to practice some breathing at the beginning because breathing is so important for a mental health routine. Keep your spine straight and let's get started. And if you need time to move into a more quiet place that you're watching this, then go ahead and do so now, and we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so if you settle in, take some time to do what you need to do to be more relaxed. The key to this is relaxation. And I want you to focus on, as we set the intention for this meditation, focus on some of the things that you've been holding on to that you can't control. Focus on that. And it might not feel good right now, but I want you to focus on breathing and focus on that intention. So take a long, deep breath in. Fill your lungs. As you exhale, think to yourself, relax. Good. One more time. Big breath in. Fill your lungs. On the exhale, think to yourself, relax. Good. Last time, one big easy breath in. Fill your lungs. On the exhale, think to yourself, relax. Good. Now you can breathe normally. And just completely let go. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And I'd like you to focus on a spot in between your eyes. It's a blue-black space right in between your two physical eyes. And focus on that point as if nothing else matters. Continue to breathe. Just completely focus on letting go all tension or stress within your body right now. And I'd like you to imagine that you're walking alongside, and all of the weight and that burden that you've been carrying is on your shoulders. Could either be in a bag, a backpack. You're carrying this burden along with you. Whatever you've been worried about all this time, throughout this entire talk, all of the weight you feel that's on your shoulders, carry it with you alongside the beach. And you approach a set of stairs, and these stairs could be wooden, steel, whatever types of stairs you see them to be, that leads you to the other side of the beach, to the water. And as I count from 5 to 1, with each descending number on the stairs, you'll become even more relaxed, even more within yourself, shutting out the outside world and only focusing on you for this time. 5, stepping down, down, and deeper down. 4, deeper, deeper, deeper relaxed. 3, stepping more relaxed, more relaxed, more relaxed. 2, stepping down, down, and deeper down. And 1. Good. Now that you're in this level of relaxation, you still have this bag, this burden that you've been carrying on your back. But within the beach, you see the white sand between your toes, and you can feel the sand on the bottom of your feet. You hear the sound of seagulls, and you're all alone. The sky is beautiful blue color. You see streaks of clouds just streaming across the sky, and you hear the faint sound of seagulls and the salty air on your skin as you're walking towards the water, crystal blue water. As you focus on walking towards the water, you just know there's so much you want to get off your shoulders, so much you want to get off your chest. You see sparkling seashells along the shore. And as you walk towards the water, you approach it, and you can hear the waves, see the waves, even some fish in the distance, perhaps even some dolphins. And this is your time to let go completely of everything that you can't control, knowing that everything is going to be okay for you. Take whatever it is and imagine that there's a basket in the ocean, a basket that's inviting you to put all your worries aside, put all your worries in the basket. And as you take take all of these things, all this negative energy, and clear it out completely. Place it in the basket as the waves wash it away. And you see it go off, off further in the distance, carrying away, knowing that you're fully taken care of and you don't have to worry about anything anymore. You're perfect, whole, and complete in every way possible, and it's not your burden to carry. Not anymore, not ever. You're completely present, and knowing just how much lighter you feel letting go of all this negativity. Just imagine that the sunlight goes through the top of your head, cleanses your entire body all the way down to your feet. You feel it go from the top of your head all the way to your feet and up, and each time it does that, you feel yourself cleansing more and more, releasing any negativity, anything that you can't control, knowing that you're always taken care of and that everything is going to be okay. And as you see it disappear completely in the distance, you know that you don't have to worry anymore, and you feel lighter, more free, more confident than ever. Take a big breath in and breathe in that feeling. Put your hand on your heart if you like, and just fully take in the feeling of knowing that everything will work out, that you are always taken care of. Good. And you may stay here in this moment. Otherwise, I will bring you back. And as you wake up, you'll have a new way of thinking, a new way of being, feeling lighter than ever, and knowing that you can return to this anytime you wish, anytime you feel that you need a lift, a boost, that you need to clear out negative and have more positivity in your life. Coming back more and more to the sound of my voice. And as you take a big breath in, inhale, start focusing on your body more. Make an outline of your body with your eyes. Another big breath in. And one more time, deep inhale. And exhale, let it go. Let it go, release, and let it go completely. And whenever you're ready, you can open your eyes. So I hope that was soothing and relaxing and releasing for you. And you can return to that and do that on your own whenever you are sitting down and you're just having a tough day, just looking within. Sometimes you can really find those answers. And knowing that you can focus on releasing and letting go completely, you can dissociate and take yourself to a beautiful place like the beach. I'm sorry that if you don't like the beach, that's where I took you today. But if you'd prefer to go to the mountains or just a special place that's very special to you, it can be so invigorating for your mental health and focusing on being positive. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm always honored to have you. And if you tune in next week, we'll be covering mental health routine that will really boost your mental well-being and your mental health. And if you want to find more about me, my name's Shannon Rollins, like I said, and you can just head on over to shannonrollins.com, and I'd be happy to chat with you. Thanks again. Have a great rest of your week.